Namaste and welcome to Wisal Career Guide. Today we have Mr. Abhijit Shah, who has been working in a very interesting role in the marketing sector. Let's hear from him what his journey has been like. Welcome, Abhijit.
Thanks, Neha. Thanks for this opportunity. Great to be here.
So, Abhijit, what has been your educational background?
So, Neha, I would say I am an engineer on paper. And
Okay,
when I got my first job after engineering is when I realized that, okay, fine, kuch aur karna hai. I want to do something else. And that's when I picked up CAT and cleared MICA. I would say that was a fortunate one that I cleared MICA because I had prepared for just 3 months, I think.
okay.
Yeah. So after that, so I'm an engineer and an MBA. That's how it is. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, I always did wonder, engineering and then MBA, why?
No,
So,
it's
was
that's
engineering out of, family, this thing of, either doctor or engineer?
you watch Three Idiots, right? So that's what it is. I mean, you had to be an engineer, and basically, what happened was my father had wanted to be an engineer when he was young, and at his point of time, it was a coveted profession. And when
Right.
I selected my seat as mechanical for a mechanical engineering one, I came out and he hugged me and he said, "आज तुमने मेरा सपना पूरा कर दिया." I said, "Oh, okay, that's what it is." But yeah, but frankly speaking, engineering was itself an experience. Those 4 years are like really cool. But yeah, I mean, it also depends on what you're looking for in life. And that's when I took a call.
Right.
I took a call of going for an unconventional MBA, Neha, and that's where I did my research and picked up MICA deliberately. So yeah,
Right.
that's how it goes. Yeah.
So, what was the first job like after completing your MBA?
After my MBA, okay. So after my MBA, I joined a research agency. I got a pre-placement offer because I had done my summer internship there, and it was a very enjoyable one. And the name of the firm was Indica Research at that point in time. Later, it got acquired by Ipsos, and
Okay.
yeah, I was working with Indica Research, and the it was a very specialized division that I was working within Indica Research. It was more on the strategic management side. I worked on solid state devices, and I'm talking of 2004, 2004, 5. So I was working on
Okay.
solid state devices. Philips was mulling over coming in with TVs, which would have dish
Hmm.
antenna, inbuilt into them. So it was that kind of era when DTH was a new thing. And yes, when I'm actually telling this to you, I feel antiquated. But yeah, I mean, that's what it was. But it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So
Okay. So, you working into research and consumer insights. Marketing always had market research as a function, but consumer insights is picking up in terms of the focus area.
mm.
How much do you see that, becoming the focus for companies?
Mm. You know what? I keep telling this to my, team members and colleagues as well. Research is something that you learn. Basically, it's a skill, hard skill that you acquire, right? It's all
Right.
statistics, etc., and techniques. Insights is something that you develop. So consumer insights, as you're saying, I wouldn't say that it's just an extension of market research, Neha.
Hmm.
It combines a lot of awareness also of your surroundings. It actually talks about a lot of your observation skills. It also, speaks of your curiosity and inquisitiveness to say why exactly are we doing certain things in a certain way. So it
Right.
needs a certain bent of mind. While research so it's like saying that okay, fine, you can learn a programming language, but can you code and create something which really creates a breakthrough? So there's a difference, right? Everyone can become a
Absolutely.
programmer, but seldom few people actually, go on to say that okay, fine, I can use these skills to develop a software which is something else, and that's the
Correct.
difference. For an insights, what you need to be aware of is, I would say, you need to know psychology, you need to know anthropology, sort of. I'm not asking you to be expert, but I think
Okay.
these are the areas that should actually pique your interest. And at the
Okay.
base of that is inquisitiveness. You need to be curious to ask as to why are we doing what we are doing? Why do people do what they do? why
Right.
they say and why they do something else. So those are the kind of questions that should always baffle you as an insight
Right.
professional. And
So,
to answer your question again, you're saying why is exactly is it becoming important? See, it's usually a progression, right? First, we started getting used to using the research tools and techniques in the industry,
right.
in the organizations, and then what happened was people said that okay, fine, everything can be answered either through a qualitative or a quantitative. Those are the two aspects of research as it was seen earlier.
Right.
That's when people started saying, how can I add more value? Because the whole idea is not to say that 77% of people in India are doing certain thing or 62% of the people are doing something, but actually saying why are they doing what they're doing? And that's where your insights come into play. And that's where the hunger for knowledge, information, etc., started coming in. So yeah.
Okay. So, do freshers, get jobs into this segment, or do they have to, work in other areas before they can be brought into this?
It's again, I would say work your way up because day one onwards, unless until you got an experience of a certain industry, let's say suppose, you
Hmm.
won't have the understanding of the workings. And largely, this is all the more complex because it actually talks about your end users, not even customers. I'm talking of the consumers. So
Right.
if you've been in consumer facing roles earlier on,
Hmm.
and you have slight bit of understanding why exactly are people doing, what are they preferring, etc. I would say that at least has a founding block. And if I define as a complete fresher, a complete fresher who actually just is undergraduate, goes into an MBA degree, and then gets onto Insight, you need to have that bent of mind. You can work your way up,
Okay.
but connecting the dots is very important, and that happens only over a period of time. Research,
Right.
yes, you can be skilled. You definitely can be an expert in terms of using your research methodologies, stats, software, etc. But then, how do you start applying it in business scenarios, which is applicable and actionable, is the name of the game, and that happens over time, is what I would say.
So, what kind of educational background and work experience are, sought after for somebody who's looking for a job in consumer insights?
So effectively, I would say it's now become an eclectic mix, Neha, and that's a welcome news, frankly speaking, because
Mhm.
I mean, as I said, in my experience itself, I have met people who are really good at consumer insights and have done their undergraduate degree in anthropology. They have come from sociology. They have come from background with psychology, etc. So frankly
Okay.
speaking, I wouldn't say there is one set course. The
Hmm.
only thing that I would, urge everyone, whoever are actually aspiring to get into this field, is be comfortable with data and anything. And data, what I mean by data is anything is information. So be a sponge,
Right.
observing whatever's coming your way, and that defines your learning curve across the industries, across the verticals. Because the moment you start saying that, okay, fine, I know this, and this is a known zone, is when you stop learning. And
Learning.
insights
Correct.
is always asking yourself a question, always challenging that horizon that you have seen, and always
Hmm.
questioning it to say that, okay, fine, why exactly is there a horizon? Who put this? It's like a question mark always floating in your head. And that's what.
Right.
So, frankly speaking, you should just be comfortable with the data. You should know how to convert that data into information, and you shouldn't get baffled with the quantum of data that comes your way. And data can be, again, it can be numeric, it can be non-numeric data. So anything, right? So that's how it is.
Right. And what are the soft skills that, are required?
Soft skills. So at the start of the career, I would say again, I mean, inquisitiveness, extreme hunger
Okay.
to know why exactly, the why, the reason, to ask for a reason, right?
Right.
As well as you need to understand the feeling, the emotion side of it. So you should also have a high empathy, because then, unless and
Okay.
you connect with the consumers, you won't be able to understand what their life is all about, right? So I
Right.
mean, again, I keep quoting this in again, with my colleagues, is looking at the numbers in the Excel sheet is one thing, and knowing the life behind those Excel sheets is another. And as an insights professional, you need to know both. You need to have
Both.
the right side and left side of the brain working together to understand what exactly is happening. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So, if I were to ask you, for one tip based on your career so far, for anybody to succeed in the corporate world, what would be that one tip?
State your truth. So many a times what happen is, and this applies, uh, I would say that earlier on I used to think that how can I actually tell this in a room where there are so many seniors who have so many years of experience sitting there, uh, and taking a certain decision. And when I used to come from the market after working along the consumers, after actually observing the consumers, interacting with them, I would feel that, okay, fine, why are they not thinking from a consumer's perspective? This is not going to work. And then, I mean, basically, that's also a personality trait, Neha, that I had about actually
Right?
questioning my own self to say, I mean, do I really have that much of experience as the collective experience in the room? But I would
Mhm.
suggest just go out. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा? I mean, you will actually learn something new, right? But speak the
Right.
truth that you have absorbed from the market. At the max, you will learn something new if it doesn't apply or if it's not relevant. And if it's really
Mhm.
relevant, then you would have any which ways nudged the conversation in the right direction. So that's what it
All
is.
right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Abhijit, and sharing your insights into the role of insights. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Neha. It was fun talking to you. Bye.
So that was Mr. Abhijit Shah sharing with us his journey into the role of consumer insights. Now, what he said about asking the question why and speaking your truth is something that you should keep in mind irrespective of the role that you're getting into. Whatever work, be it your own business or a corporate role, you should always keep asking questions, understanding if your thought process is actually the reality or if there is a difference. That is the only way to succeed in any work that you do. I hope this video helps you get more information about the role, and if you have any questions, do write to us in comments below and we'll get back to you. Also, do like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.